Hello and welcome to my knitting vlog. My name is Annika and I'm a knitwear designer from Finland. I'm glad that you joined me. Thank you everybody who commented on my last video. I felt really like I'm not alone with my experiences and definitely there is room for improvement. That said, I actually don't know what else to say about it. It's unfortunate that people are not so, how to put it, mindful of each other, but maybe, like I said, we can improve on that in the future, or actually right now. So, few things first. I actually don't know where to start. Maybe I'll start with what I'm knitting. I am knitting my ice swimming dress. It's just a huge blob. And as you can see, I'm holding it inside out. It's still just a stockinette dress in Sannes garn, tin silk mohair and tin peregrine. I don't remember the colorways. The new darker gray from the tin silk mohair, well, new, I think it came out this autumn. Well, now it's already December, but still it's this autumn. And the same colorway, 1053 maybe, from both of these yarns. So I'm knitting that. I still have 10 centimeters to go before my knees, and then I'm contemplating if I should do a split hem, sort of that will split the ribbing. Not sure yet. Maybe I'm gonna do that, and then I should knit the sleeves and it should be done soon. It's just a simple raglan sweater. Dress, I mean. But of course it can be a sweater, you just knit it shorter. So this has been a slow progress. It seems I'm knitting stockinette forever and ever. But never mind that. I also started a lace shawl, a very simple one, but more about that later, just to, have something else on my needles besides stockinette. And yeah, I've mostly been knitting cowls and hats for probably the past few months, and I'm wearing my Hala hat actually because I have a bad hair day and I'm going to the sauna later on, so I thought that, sorry guys, but I'm not gonna go shower before that just to record this video. And now we have some light. It's the shortest day of the year, but still there is some sunlight, so that's nice. We got some snow the other week, more than 40 centimeters, but then most of it melted and now it's very slippery and it's crappy. But again today it's -7, so that's okay. +1 and 2, and when it's raining I don't really like that for winter. So that's about winter. Oh, I said to someone that I should that I will talk about snowboarding at some point, but I haven't been to the slopes yet. I haven't put on my bindings yet, but if you want some tips, I think there are pretty good snowboarder instructors out there on YouTube that you could check out and follow. I follow Malcolm Moore. This is not a paid advertisement, by the way, but that's actually how I didn't start with him, but I did start partially by watching snowboarding tips on YouTube, like how to get on and off a chairlift. Seriously, yeah. I think we all have traumas that are not visible, which is probably a good thing. And I have definitely some traumas regarding metallic things that go around and might hit you, and also a trauma from falling and on ice. And no, I'm not talking about the incident that I had 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago, the wrist incident while cross-country skiing. I'm talking about trauma from my childhood. So yeah, I have a very strong, maybe fear is too strong a word, but something similar towards moving metallic subjects or bars actually. So way to go, you know, trying to get on a T-bar or this other crappy thing that you put between your legs. Those lifts they have in Finland at least. And yeah, the chairlift is not that different either. So, and as a snowboarder, it's just a bit more difficult than being on skis. I mean, I imagine that it's a bit more difficult, but what do I know? I skied or tried to ski once when I was 9. I mean, downhill skiing, and that's about it. I never tried. I just didn't think that it's cool enough. I wanted to learn to snowboard, and that's what I did when I turned 30-ish and I met my partner. And it turned out that he can snowboard, so he had the honor to teach me. Yeah, good times. I'm laughing because I remember him telling me to bend my knees, and I'm arguing with him that, but I am bending my knees. And then we took a tiny video of me riding, and I see that I'm not bending my knees. I'm just, you know, having my knees straight or even sort of bended, like locked towards the back. But yeah, that's about snowboarding. What does that have to do with knitting? Well, maybe not much, but I've been thinking of coming up with designs that I could wear on the slopes, like cowls, and then of course matching beanies for off the slopes. And this Hala beanie is a part of that. The bad thing is that they don't go with my gear, but who cares? It's functional. So this is the cowl. And like I said, I'm wearing the Hala beanie, or hat actually. Someone pointed out that it's not supposed to be called a beanie nor a toque or something like that. Toque. I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce that. That it's a hat, and okay, that's fine. I've just learned a few years ago what's a watch cap, so maybe this is one of those or not. I mean, the one with the brim folded, but I still don't know what's what. It's confusing. In Finnish, we only have one word for a hat. I mean, the knitted hat. It's called pipo. So that's it. All kinds of ribbed, not ribbed, longer, shorter, whatever. They're all called pipo. Yeah, funny word. Both of these designs are based on my Hala socks. That's my most popular pattern for some reason. Well, they're nice. They look nice, and they have just a tiny bit of color work on the leg part, and that's not that difficult. It doesn't have long floats. Contrary to these ones, they have a few longer floats here at the end and the beginning. I think I started with the dark color and then knitted my way to the light, somehow fitting for this day as well. This has also Isager silk mohair and Sandnes Garn Sunday. I think it's a lovely combination. Other combination could be, of course, knitting for olive merino and soft silk mohair, but I just like the colors in this. It's actually, the Sunday is a greenish, and then the Isager silk mohair is grey. What I wanted to say about this. Oh, yes. If you want to test knit, please drop me a line on Instagram, a direct message with your email that you are planning to use in the testnet. I can't speak, sorry. The testnet takes place in Google Docs, so you need to have a working email that works with Google Docs. And please just use one email. I mean, it's okay to change it, but be considerate when sending me a different email firsthand and then switching to something else, because that means that every time I need to give access. So that might be a bit, extra work. Anyhow, so I'm also thinking that maybe I should just do a Google form where everybody who wants to, they could sign up, and then I would have all the email address just in an Excel. And by the way, I don't store your email address, just for the record, or keep your personal info or anything else. It's just for the testnet. Yes, so I made this the pattern. I graded it to 3 sizes. This is the medium one. And I'm not gonna put it on because the microphone doesn't like it, but it fits nicely. Of course, when you actually wear it, it doesn't show all the color work because it's kind of crumbled. Is that the word? Sort of, maybe. But I still like it. And of course you can just wear it like this. And about snowboarding, I think this would be perfect for wearing it under my jacket. We'll see. I'm really waiting for them to open the slopes, and actually they open it today. But I think I have to do other stuff. I should clean before Christmas and do some shopping. I mean, food and stuff. Just normal things. No more Christmas shoppings. I haven't really bought that many presents. And maybe because we don't need more stuff. Anyhow, yes, the hat. The hat comes also in 3 sizes, and I figured out how to do the decreases, so now it fits nicely. Yes, I'm saying that, I'm not showing that. What else? Yeah, it doesn't look like a pumpkin anymore. I'm still contemplating on if I should add a tiny pom-pom or not. It looks fine as it is, but for some reason I also like pom-poms. On that note, and cowls and whatnot, I just released the Trailblaze cowl. This tiny thing. This is also knitted in Sannes Garn Sunday and Isager silk mohair. Mostly because I have still some of the silk mohair and Sunday in my stash, except I didn't have enough, so I had to order some Sunday. And I'll show you the difference between these two. I mean, the Hala cowl is much longer. It has, I think 10 or something like that, more rows than the Trailblaze cowl. And this is a matching thing for my Trailblaze hat that I've shown you a zillion times already. This also comes in 3 sizes, so I think you can find a size that fits you. What else? Oh, I put the Trailblaze beanie and the cowl into a sort of a bundle. So if you add both into your cart on Ravelry, then you can get both with 750 euros, which I don't think is much, but pattern pricing is really, I don't know, it's just, I find it difficult. I mean, even if it's a simple pattern, you spend hours and hours on it. And I'm not talking about, test knitter comments and replying to them, but the grading, making sure everything is correct, checking the numbers a zillion times, checking the charts. I can't remember which test knit was it that I didn't put the correct inches. For some reason, I just thought that 4 centimeters is 1 inch. So going back, checking those again, putting everything into the Canva, then uploading everything to Ravelry, or before that already, before the test knit starts, taking pictures, even crappy ones, takes time. And I find it really annoying that Ravelry doesn't automatically send the published pattern to the test knitters. You have to do that manually for each one. I mean, once you publish the pattern, once you uploaded a PDF, it just doesn't send it. It's just, you have to go to gifts and then send it one by one. If you know a way to do that automatically, please let me know. I asked my friends and then they didn't know an answer to that. But yes, and I also decided that the cowl is only for 90 euros. I don't think that's much, but like I said, it's a tricky thing. I don't know. I mean, Finland is, well, or has become such an expensive place in recent years that I really don't know how much is too much for a pattern. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, let me know. Some already commented that my patterns are too pricey. I mean, okay, most of my patterns are €6 for accessories, and then €8 the few sweaters that I have. I don't think that's too much because, well, maybe it's unrelated, but for a latte you pay now anything from €5.50 to above €6. So I don't go to coffee shops too often. Even just a filtered coffee, just the regular crappy one is €3. And also I've been thinking that it's kind of weird that from what I've seen, sewing patterns for garments are like €17 and then or more, and a sweater pattern for knitting is anything from €6.90 to maybe €12. And if it's €12, then people think that that's very expensive. So I don't know, what do you think? I mean, of course it relates to your income level, but still, I'm just thinking, and I don't, how to put this? I don't think that I would sell more patterns if I put, I don't know, a €2 price. But maybe I'm wrong. And funny enough, I checked the prices for patterns from well-known designers, and they seem to me actually too cheap. I mean, yeah, you can check the same on Ravelry, and Petit knit sweaters are like the €6.90, which I think is not enough. Maybe she is selling volumes, of course she is, because she's so well known, but I don't think that correlates to the work she's putting into it. But it's early days for me, and I mean for designing and pattern pricing and test knitting, so I'm trying to find ways that work and testing different things, and maybe I can't really say yet what actually works. Where is the sweet spot? I mean, I'm looking for that, to be honest. I want to find what would be the sweet spot for my patterns that people would still buy it. And like I said in my first few videos, I don't think it actually has to do that much with money. I think it has to do with marketing, it has to do with your status, it has to do with how well you're known. Because I've also found that, yeah, okay, money is part of it, but it doesn't matter how much you ask for it. Well, how much, of course, there is probably a point where nobody wants to buy your patterns if it's just, I don't know, €100, even if you're the world's most known designer. But I think there is also a spot of how much can you ask that people still want to knit it because you're so famous and so well known that they want to be part of that group. So what do you think? What would be a reasonable price for accessories? For sweaters, I haven't actually counted, and maybe I should, how many hours I spend developing a pattern. I'm not talking about just knitting it, but actually grading it. Of course, it's a lot more if it's a sweater than if it's just a simple cowl. But even with a simple cowl, you, like I said, need to make sure that everything is correct. Double check it, check the measurements also in inches, and yeah, do the test knit round. Try to do some marketing, poorly or not poorly, and taking photographs. That can take also tons of time. Making YouTube videos. So there's a lot of work, invisible work behind the scenes that nobody sees. It's just like, oh, she's already come out with another pattern and in no time. It's like, not really the case, at least not for me. what else? Oh, another thing. About patterns. I had my pattern, my first ever cardigan pattern in the Finnish Taito magazine. It came out on the 4th of December. Just a second, I'll put the close the zipper. Why I'm showing you this? Because I'm very proud of this. I'm not gonna wear it until I have the rights back and I can translate it to English. That's gonna be... I'll probably will call out for test knitters in May if everything goes accordingly. But this is the Shuba cardigan. And I don't know if it fits the screen, hopefully. It has pockets. It has a zipper. It has a fun collar. And everything you see is color work mostly, with some ribbing, of course, at the bottom and top. Oops, there's a hair, loose hair from somewhere. And I've steeked it. I steeked also the neck opening. And that's why I'm very proud of it. And it's knitted bottom up. I think it was easier to work it that way. First I knitted the sleeves and then the body, and then I joined and then did the rest of the stuff. Then I steeked the opening, and I also steeked the neck opening, and there are some short rows on the collar, yeah. And maybe you can see or not, but it is heavily inspired by baseball jackets. I don't know why people are in Finland they are wearing, young people wearing baseball jackets again. They did that back in the 90s, but everything I said at some point, it kind of goes around and comes around. So yes, it is inspired by baseball jackets. And why I'm so proud of it, it's not just about the work I put into it, but I think before this I steeked only one thing. Yes, one cardigan that I knitted from Plötulopi. I never inserted the zipper into anything knitted. So I had to find ways to avoid bulk, and new ways to do it without a sewing machine. That's another thing. You can steek things with a sewing machine sort of more easily, but I find it actually a better way to do it by hand. Of course it takes time. I think it took me 3 days to get right. I mean, the zipper has to sit perfectly. It cannot pucker or pull the fabric. It also has to be close enough to the, are these teeth in English? I mean the knitted fabric to the zipper, so that it doesn't have this huge gap that you can see the zipper. Also I had to hide the steek edges so it's nice on the wrong side as well. I didn't bother with them here. What else? I also knitted pockets that I probably never did before, so that's why I'm very proud of this. And it's made from Finnish sheep wool from Vuonue. It's a Finnish company. I think it's a one-woman company, and thank you for the yarn support. It's not a paid advertisement. I just really like the yarn, and that's why I chose it for this design. I also inserted the tiny details to the sleeve, the seam here, so you kind of don't see that much the color change. I mean the round change. Yes, it's very nice to wear. It has some positive ease with sleeves that are this, what's the word for it? they're kind of even from the bottom to the top. Not tapered. It's the opposite of tapered sleeves. And I'm really, really looking forward to wear this. I think I'll need to buy a baseball cap. So yeah, that's what I've been working actually last summer with the heat and all that. I also like the details on the cuffs with the two-color ribbing. And a tip for you how to avoid seeing the how are they called? Purling here. When you change colors, just knit one round in the next color and then continue doing the ribbing. It works. So, because otherwise it would look like this. But no, it doesn't. So there is that. I think, again, I mean, I've been on and off thinking about or feeling like I'm coming down with the flu, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the dryness of the air. I think we have like 35% humidity in the apartment, which is not much. So yeah, it affects my voice, and I should probably do some warm-ups before I start talking, but I just couldn't be bothered. What else? Oh, maybe I should continue with snowboarding tips. I'm actually, honestly, I'm a bit terrified. I'm to go to the slopes. I'm always terrified at the beginning of the season. It's like I don't know anything. I forgot everything. And actually, I think it was last year. Yeah. Last year, the first day of the season, I was more terrified because of my cross-country incident to go to the slopes. So I went to the kiddie slopes, and while I was already on the lift. It's not the T-bar, it's the other one with the round thing that you put between your legs, and sort of getting ready to take off, when a 3 to 4 year old kid just came straight to the lift line instead of continuing on the slopes, and then hit me or bumped into me. And it sounds like, well, I could have done something. Actually, that the thing is that I couldn't have done anything, because there was the lady giving me the bar, operating the lift. There was a huge metallic wall, I mean, it's part of the lift, on my right side, and then a bar on my left side. So I had about this much space. And I couldn't go anywhere. I just, and sort of her timing was kind of perfect for that I couldn't escape or couldn't, go somewhere else or get out of the lift. So I think I know that she didn't hurt herself. I got a bruise on my leg. It doesn't really matter that much, but I just, what's the word for it? I had a bit of a shock because I was terrified that I hurt her. And you cannot, I fell, she fell, I had the bar between my legs. I kind of very quickly took it out of my legs and tried to let it go so that I don't hurt her, because that can swing just anywhere. The lift lady stopped the lift and then I was trying to pick her up and myself. So yeah, that was and then came the parents. I'm like, where were you until now? I don't have kids, but and I really don't want to judge people who have kids, that how they should take care of their kids, but if she's so small and that she doesn't really understand where she's going, then I think you would need an adult to be there with them on the slopes, because they weren't. They were somewhere, waiting for her. So yeah, that was a bit of a shock, and I got over it because, of course, from my part, it's I was scared for her that I would hurt her, and then I was also scared a bit for myself because I didn't want to have another fractured wrist or anything. But yeah, so be mindful how you ride and how your kids ride. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Usually people are okay, but I've seen people riding in a very what's the word? Dangerous, probably way that they just, there is this I wonder what's it called in English. There is actually a sport where you just go straight on skis and you gather tons of speed, and I think they go like, I don't know, 200 kilometers per hour just downhill. And some people do that on regular slopes on skis. You can't, well, you can do that on a snowboard, but it's not really fun, and it's just frankly stupid. So I had also that, and I think, I mean that, by that I mean that I'm turning left, and then there comes this guy just straight passing me with, I don't know, just a crazy amount of speed. I turn right, there comes another guy doing the same thing. I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, it's fine, you can do that, but you have to be able to control your speed. And unfortunately, there are incidents almost every year where somebody actually dies because people hit them with that kind of speed, and there's just, nothing you can do. So, and it's always the fault of the people coming from behind because we don't have eyes from the back, in the back of our heads. But yeah, on nicer topics. I really wish that they'd have had the slopes open when so much snow came. I mean, it would have been so much fun to ride some powder. I also have a goal this year. I think I ride very mediocre, to say. I mean, yeah. And I need to work on that. I can't really carve well because I'm not shifting my weight early enough. And if you watch Malcolm more, then you might understand what I'm talking about if you're interested in snowboarding or if you've ever snowboarded. If not, then just, forget about this. Go do something else during winter. I mean, winter sports are fun, and you should enjoy winter while we still have them. I mean, I don't know what will happen, but climate change is a thing. You can deny it all you want, it's still a thing. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the previous video that the winters in Finland has gotten shorter 1 month or something like that. We don't have snow. It's darker for 1 month than it used to be, like back in the 80s, or even when I moved to Finland in the 90s. So that's, frankly, it's just crap. And yeah, and if the winters are getting shorter, the thing is, we will not be needing, and warmer, any knitwear. So I'm not worried actually that the AI will take my job. The AI is a very poor knitwear designer at the moment. I'm worried that the end of winters will take my job. So, and your hobby as well. I mean, who wants to knit if it's plus 35 degrees in summer and you don't need any warm winter clothing for winter either anymore? All right, I think I'm rambling now. So, just to recap, if you want to sign up for the test knit for the Hala hat or cowl, please do so. I'll either by dropping me a line on Instagram. You can also reach out on Ravelry, or if I am very efficient, then I might add actually the direct link to the Google form in the descriptions below. we'll see. I mean, like I said, I still have some cleaning to do and maybe wrap some packages for Christmas. Yeah, what else? That's about it. I still think that I have tons of things to say, but maybe I'm saving that for the future episodes. And now I'm also a bit losing the light. So I did buy a studio light, but I just hate it. So I'd rather record things when there is some light outside. And we'll see about that soon. So anyhow, I'll continue knitting my dress for a while and then go and do something else. I hope you have a lovely weekend or day, depending on when you're watching, and the rest of the year. I don't know if I will be back before the end of it. I hope so. Maybe with some other controversial topic, like what? I don't know. Well, you can suggest. What do you want me to talk about? Oh, it was funny because somebody said that, oh, they don't usually watch chatty vlogs. And I'm like, well, what do you watch then? The vlogs that I see are mostly chatty. I mean, yes, of course, they show what they're making, but they still talk. So, well, maybe she's referring to tutorials. Who knows? Anyhow, have a lovely day and until next time. Bye.